Singapore, the Singapore economy has turned in yet another better-than-expected report card. With the manufacturing sector continuing its stellar run, third-quarter gross domestic product, GDP, grew by 5.2% compared to a year ago, trumping the earlier announced advance estimates and second-quarter growth number. This marked the trade-reliant economy's best showing since end 2013. On a quarter-on-quarter seasonally adjusted basis, Singapore's economy expanded by a whopping 8.8%, also beating official estimates and was well above the second quarter's 2.2% growth. The Ministry of Trade and Industry, MTI, on Thursday, November 23, also upgraded its full-year growth forecast for 2017 to 3 to 3.5%, from the previous range of 2 to 3%. This prompted some private sector economists to revise their estimates upwards. OCBC now expects Singapore's economic growth for 2017 to be at 3.4%, a nudge higher than 3.3%, while ANZ is predicting 3.3% instead of 3%. But underneath the increasingly cheerful economic indicators, MTI told reporters at a media briefing that unevenness in growth remains. The construction sector, for one, remained in the doldrums and is expected to stay lackluster. Even within sectors, patchy growth persists. The transport engineering cluster was the exception in a booming manufacturing sector, while growth for telecommunications in the information and communications sector was subdued, said MTI's Permanent Secretary Loh Kum Yin. A mid-consensus view for the manufacturing sector, which has been in the driver's seat for GDP growth this year, to see a moderation soon. The latest headline growth figure may be the highest it can get. As we get into 2018 or even as soon as fourth quarter, the base effect for the semiconductor segment will start turning unfavorable, said Nomura economist Brian Tan, referring to the turnaround in manufacturing which began in the final 3 months of last year. Since then, the sector has outperformed on the back of strong global demand for semiconductors and related equipment. The question is, if we had 18.4% growth in manufacturing and that has not lifted the economy up as dramatically as that number would imply, what happens when growth slows? I don't think we can sustain this 5.2% going forward. With growth for the first 3 quarters coming in at 3.5% on a year-on-year basis, the government's revised growth forecast for the full year to 3 to 3.5% also implicitly suggests that, added Mr. Tan. MTI's forecast would imply the fourth quarter coming in the range of about 1.3 to 3.6%. If you take the midpoint of the range, it is still a slowdown from 5.2%. Recovery is broadening. The good news is that economists expect this unevenness to be reduced come 2018, echoing the Monetary Authority of Singapore's, MAS, latest macroeconomic review. The central bank had said it expects the economy to see a smaller degree of growth dispersion across sectors next year. DBS economist Irvin C. expects the driver of growth to interchange heading into 2018.